Okay, Margaret, now we're going to take a look at your backstroke from the front view above water. And what I really like looking at the front view above water, it gives me a lot of indications of what's going on with your alignment and your stroke that's very hard to see from the side. So as you're seeing yourself swim towards the camera, okay, we can see that on your right side, it's very interesting what you do with your hand. So you exit the water with the arm, and then your hand turns inward as you're starting to recover over the top of the water. And we really want that hand to be straight or even turned slightly out instead of turned in. And what it's kind of creating with you, it's creating a late shoulder roll. And so you're really overreaching on your right side. So then as you go from this position, then you see that hand is still bent. And I really like straight wrists. I like this to swim without wrists in terms of our swimming. So you can see how that arm is kind of, as you rotated that hand around, now there's a slight bend in your elbow, and then that hand's turning the other direction and turning out. So if we can get that hand to be straight and the rotation to happen, just the pinky rotating forward instead of the hand swinging around. And what happens is, as you go beyond this point, you can see the shoulder is still up and you reach straight behind the head. So if I was going to draw the line that I would want you to enter at, it'd be right here. Your arm would be on this line as it enters the water, and you can just see as you're trying to enter back here behind your head. And to me, it's all with how you're swinging that hand around. It creates a little bit of a bend in the elbow, and it creates an overreach at the top end of the stroke. I think it prevents you from actually rotating your shoulders correctly. And as we watch the left side, you can see on the left side there's a bend of that hand, but the hand is turned out right away. So even though you got a little bit of a bend, the arm is entering straighter in front of the shoulder. So it's a much better position to be in. It's going to also help you pull more water, but you're rotated on that side a little bit better. So it's slightly overreaching there, but not much. And it's a better position to be in to pull water. And then on your right side again, we'll watch it come over. Again, that fingers turn in, then they turn out, and they swing around, and your arm eventually ends up, again, right behind the head at entry, okay? We would want that shoulder down a little bit more and for you not to reach behind your head in order to enter the water. Much straighter position on your left side. Like to see the hand a little bit straighter with the wrists, but a better line that you're reaching into the water, and that shoulder's down and the right shoulder's up. So when I'm looking at your shoulders, I see that at entry your shoulder is under the water and your right shoulder is out of the water. And that's how we want to be rotated on that side. Head's a little high. I would like it to be back a little bit more. I think that would get your hips up and make the rotation a little cleaner. But then, because rotation really, if your chin's towards your chest, it's harder to rotate your shoulders. And right now we'll go to the right side again. You can see just a lot more bending of the elbow, and I think it all gets set up by the hand. The hand turns in and then turns out, and his elbow just wants to be bent as it's coming around. There's too much movement for it to stay straight, and we want it to stay a lot straighter, and that will kind of straighten out your stroke. But then you can see as you come back, as you're entering the water on this side, where on the left entry we saw the right shoulder out of the water, we should see the same here. We should see that right shoulder down and the left shoulder out of the water. So if I draw a line where that shoulder should be to where your other shoulder should be, your right shoulder should be under the water a good 2 inches, and the left shoulder should be out of the water a good 2 inches at entry. If that happened, then this arm would be straight here, and you can just see how it's turning back behind the head. And I think if we can get rid of some of that hand rotation, that will help a lot. See, it's a lot less on this side, a lot straighter arm, and then as you come over with the right, but here we are in the turn. Again, I'm seeing this a lot from our swimmers on the turn. It is a freestyle turn, so I'd like to see you turned more to side to stomach at this point, and I'd like to see this arm, the high elbow here and the hand here, so it's more of a freestyle stroke rather than this straight arm pull coming over the top. It would be faster that way, and then you'd be on your stomach for the freestyle flip turn, basically is what it is. So we want to be on our stomach attacking that last stroke as a freestyle stroke instead of being so much on our side and just barely getting over. One other thing before we go to the next view, I would like to see your feet apart. So one foot should be right here and the other foot can be right here. And then slight separation, better position to push off the wall from. It also enters the water a lot cleaner, so you're not slowing yourself down. But with these feet right next to each other, very hard to get a really good push off. If I asked you to jump as high as you could from the deck and I had you plant and push, you wouldn't put your feet together and try to jump. You would have them about hip width or shoulder width apart. That's the same thing we want on our turn. Then we'll look at the underwater for the kick out and that part as we go to that.